That's how I feel. I'm on the outside looking in. But I see your true colors. Lamar, welcome to the fishing trip. You know, you're a week late. Congrats. But you still made it as I expected you would. Got lucky making it in. Now you're at your rightful place with the rest of us fishing. Long Island, Hudson, wherever. Dion, surprising member of the fishing trip so early, but come join us. We got room. Right on the boat. You know what I'm saying? Kenny and John held it down right from the beginning of the season. Lamar kept trying to step on, step off the boat, step on, step off the boat. Finally stepped off, got pulled away for that, week. Me, Dougie, me 2.0, Los. We waited to the very last minute to get on that boat. But Lamar, Dion, welcome to the fishing trip. We appreciate you. I'm sure those four still left in appreciate your donations to their fantasy fund. So that being said, welcome back. Playoff 1 recap. It's your boy, Pork Chop Express. Let's just get right into the numbers, right? Butt clap is 132.4 over Yes, I'm Serious. Lamar Gone Fishing Oliver. All that rapping and shit that you put out there, we knew it was inevitable. The last thing we just had over the chat. Again, I understand, dude. This is your first time ever in the playoffs. So the fact that you got knocked out, it really hit you hard. Like I said, dude, winners, we've been there before. We don't make it, it's okay. We'll be back next year. You never know when you'll be back, so I know this shit is hitting you hard, bro. This shit hurts right there. Hurts. So I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I offer you the air hug. That's about all you get. Gym clap. Good job. Now you're joining the rest of us. Yeah, this was. You know what though? This was actually a fairly even game, except for like what fucked Lamar was Lamar's top point getters for the season didn't do much for him. Didn't do a whole lot, a whole ton for him during the season as well. Because a lot of Lamar's points came in off of they weren't the norm. It wasn't like his guys were averaging a ton outside of Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and whatnot. The rest of the guys were throwing like a 28 point here, but then a 12 point here, something like that. Basically, his guys became who they were supposed to be. And he had underachievers. Lamar Jackson underachieved for him at 25 points, because obviously he was if Lamar Jackson doesn't get big points, L doesn't win. So he needed big points from Lamar. Mark Ingram came in at 10 points. Leonard Fournette came in at 9 points. Fournette was supposed to get 21. I didn't expect it because they have no passing game, and not only that Chargers passing defense is solid. Marvin Jones came in at what anybody expects him, 6.8. Darren Waller, came in at his projection pretty much, 11 points. But then John Brown, going against that Baltimore defense, didn't do well. The Steelers overachieved, 19 points. Zerline underachieved. So pretty much Lamar's team became what they were supposed to be. He made the right coaching decisions in starting who he started. You know, like it wasn't like he left points on the bench. So you know he had no other choices to make other than what he did. Robin on the other hand, Robin did leave points on the bench. You know, he left 25 points on the bench from Robbie Anderson. He left 33 points on the bench from A.J. Brown, which he wouldn't have started A.J. Brown otherwise. But Robbie Anderson might have gotten a start just because of the matchup. But again, you know, more the same from Robin. Dalvin Cook, Philip Lindsay, Nick Chubb. They didn't put up huge points, but they still scored above Lamar's running backs. Amari Cooper came up big. Allen Robinson had a huge game. George Kittle had a big game. So, you know, and then Carson Wentz, unfortunately, for Lamar, went up against the Giants. So, it's pretty much what you expected. And Robin actually got a 0 from that Saints defense. So, that was that. We'll go. Pete scored 131.6, which didn't matter because he was on the bye. Frank scored 124.1, which didn't matter because he was on the bye. But I say these point totals for the reason of it. You guys should notice, all you guys that play fantasy enough, you guys should notice, whenever those guys get that bye, it's general. It's not a rule, but it's almost like an omen. If they get a huge point total that bye week, they're gonna shit the bed the next week. You know, if they get a low point total that bye week, you're looking at it like, fuck. Of all weeks for them to get this low point total, they get it when nobody's playing them, of course. So now their guy's gonna get back to normal. They scored about average, but if they had played the winners, you know, the 2 playoff game winners, they would have lost. That's why I'm saying it. Just putting it in perspective. If Frank had played Robin, Frank would have lost. If Pete had played either or, if Pete played Dion or Jeff, he would have lost. So just putting it into perspective, that bye week is really important because you never know what happens to your team that week. Now, moving on to the next one. I've been shitting on Jeff a lot. This whole season I've been shitting on Jeff. And I'll continue to shit on Jeff. Because Jeff doesn't have a good team. Jeff always seems to fucking luck out. And he lucked out again this week. But, that being said, look, dude, I can't fault you for being lucky. Good job with the luck. You know what I'm saying? It got you this far. All I can do is hate at this point. But, you know, obviously whatever works for you has worked. And, you know, you've beaten teams that you shouldn't have beat. Again, you've won games where you shouldn't have won. But you did. So, kudos to you, dude. You managed it. You know what I'm saying? And you managed it again fucking this week. Amazingly. Going up against Dion. You beat Dion fucking 144.7 to 132.7 because of that Monday night game. Dion's high point totals: Matt Ryan, 25.3 points. Derrick Henry, 23.9 points. Michael Thomas, monster game, 30.4 points. Kelsey gave him 18. Boswell gave him 11. What hurt Dion, and it's tough to say hurt because Dion still put up a pretty good point total. He put up a good point total. What hurt Dion was David Montgomery, who's been shitty for him all season. You know, David Montgomery has maybe thrown in 2 games where he's really done something. But, I don't know. It would have been tough for me to start David Montgomery this week. But he did. And then what hurt him big time, because I know he was expecting more from him, Jamison Crowder hurt him. Jamison Crowder gave him 5.9, and Jamison Crowder's been killing the last 3-4 weeks. And he killed again on Thursday night. So it was almost like Dion got the shit into the stick here. Now, Brady Bunch. Fucking monster game from Jameis Winston. 42.7 points. Again, you projected 21.7 and you fucking double it. One of those lucky moments we're talking about with fucking Jeff again. He gets 12.4 for James White. He gets 10.9 from Miles Sanders, which you expect because why? They're backup running backs. I actually expected more from Miles Sanders, but that fucking undrafted dude, Bart Scott or whatever his name is, Brent Scott, was a monster. Then he gets fucking 30 points on Monday night, giving him the victory from Zach Ertz. Why? Because fucking Philly had no starting wide receivers. Every single starting wide receiver on their roster was out. The only one they had was fucking was Alshon Jeffries, who got hurt in the first quarter. So what do? You throw to Zach Ertz. He threw to Zach Ertz to the tune of 30 points. Propelling fucking Jeff to get that W. Hey, man. Again, Jeff. Dude, luck is on your side, man. Luck is really on your fucking side. And it propelled you to the semifinals. So, we're going to see what happens. You know, next up. This coming week now is the semifinals. 4 teams left. Just for, for reference, when we get back for the new year, because I'm on vacation the week after next, Christmas week I'm on vacation. Dion is obviously on vacation for the rest of his life. Stuff like that. So that when I get back from vacation, that first day in January, guys, please have your money so I could pay out the champion. And we'll see if we could, maybe hit a bar to do it or not. So please, $100, have your money that day. If you could get it to me before, please do. But here we go. Upcoming week, which started Thursday, but only person that had somebody going was Robin. So we got Robin Butt Clappers against Frank 1393. Right now, Robin's projected to win 132.9 to 114. Robin has 4 points already from Justin Tucker, who had a bad game. I believe he missed a field goal and an extra point, which was tough coming from the guy who's the most accurate kicker in NFL history. Frank is really fucking projected to have a low score, which I'm actually fairly surprised about. Really surprised he's projected that low. Only reason I can see is because, Frank, similar to Jeff, has no real starting running backs other than Carlos Hyde. He's got to hope that Robert Woods has another monster game like he did last week. And that Cole Beasley's does his thing against Pitt. He needs Mahomes to be Mahomes. 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. He needs Mahomes to do all that. And Robin, on the other hand, just needs his team to be what they have been all year. He's got Carson Wentz against Washington. He's got the fact that Philly's playing for the playoff berth on their side. He's got Nick Chubb against Arizona's defense, who have been terrible against the run. He has Phillip Lindsay against KC's defense, worst run defense in the league. Amari Cooper against the Rams, going to be a tough matchup with Jalen Ramsey. Allen Robinson against Green Bay, another tough matchup with Jair Alexander. But then he's got Kittle against Atlanta, easy matchup. Dalvin Cook against the Chargers, tougher run defense, but it's still Dalvin Cook. Patriots against Cincinnati. Patriots get right back on track. So, Robin has the matchups this week. We'll see what happens. But my prediction right now, I'm gonna say. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say Frank gets the W in this one. I think Frank's team comes through, and I think Frank gets the W in this one. Also, for the simple fact, I know a lot of people are rooting against Robin because he won in baseball. So, Robin, fuck you. You've been winning all year, bro. Fuck you and your move to Manhattan North. Moving on. Oh, just to let you guys know, too, if Lamar was still in the playoffs, Lamar, just based off Thursday's game alone, would have had 81.5 points. But since Lamar's going to finish it with me, those points don't fucking matter. Good job, buddy. Moving on. We got Pete versus Jeff. This should be a good matchup. Pete's got Dak going, Zeke. Again, guys playing for their playoff lives. They know, NFC East knows you have to win in order to make the playoffs. And you have to win that division to make the playoffs. Because chances are, guys are going to be below 500 that make that playoff spot. Jeff has the matchups in his favor. Legitimately, Jeff has damn near every fucking matchup in his favor. But, again, that being said, Pete has good fucking matchups too. We'll see what happens. I would have expected Pete to make a move on the waiver wire for maybe a running back or something, which he could have, but I guess not. You know what the big thing is going to be is whether or not Jeff fucks himself and messes with his lineup too much. Because Jeff does that. Jeff likes that. That's why Jeff has 3 fucking quarterbacks. Jeff fucks with his lineup so much that it has helped him so far. But chances are you're gonna outcoach yourself, and you're gonna fucking you have 3 good you have three quarterbacks with good matchups. Every single one of your quarterbacks has a good matchup. So now it's who do you trust more? Both your defenses have tough matchups. Again, who do you trust more? Are you going with the hot hand that the Rams have been displaying? Or are you going to go with old steady, the Vikings? You got Miles Sanders, who's still the starting running back right now against Washington. Or do you go with who was hot last week, Boston Scott, because I see you picked him up off the waiver wire. Jeff, I think you outcoach yourself this week. And I think the W goes to Pete. I think it's going to be Pete versus Frank. The all white hood Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. I think good matchups this week. I think it's going to be entertaining. That being said, Jeff, I showed you a little respect. Still think your team fucking sucks, but I showed you a bit more respect. All right? A bit more. Pete, you should thank me for fucking drafting your team, you cocksucker. And everybody else, as usual. May your running backs trip and fall coming out the locker room, damaging their hamstrings. May your wide receivers get accused of domestic battery and released from their teams. May your quarterbacks catch mono. And just all of y'all go suck a dick, man. Peace.